All right, what's going on, Notre Dame fans? We are here in cloudy South Bend, where it rained a little bit yesterday, a lot on Saturday, but a decent enough day for the Notre Dame football team to practice outdoors today for the 11th time in fall camp. This thing is it's flying by. It wasn't as chaotic and fun-filled and whatever other adjectives you would use to describe Saturday's practice when we were here, where we saw a whole lot of one-on-ones, competitive stuff, offense, defense. But we did have some takeaways from practice today. Jack, I'll let you kind of take it away. What did you see watching the Notre Dame offense today?
Yeah, just a couple of minor, somewhat encouraging injury updates from the Notre Dame offense. Kevin Bauman, the senior tight end, he started in the pit where injured players work out during practice. He did that during warmups. But he left the pit, routes on air for the receivers, and kind of got some mental reps. So that was somewhat encouraging. Also encouraging in the pit, K.K. Smith, the freshman receiver, did not have a sling on his left arm, had shoulder surgery over the summer. Marcus Freeman on the 26th of July said he would miss a couple months. We haven't heard an update since then. Freeman would be the one to give that. We haven't heard from him since. But good to see K.K. Smith without a sling on his arm. So those are the and the third little injury update. I thought Eli Raridan, the tight end, you're very high on him as a possible contributor. If he's healthy, coming back from that ACL injury last year, he looked like he was running pretty well today.
Yeah, defensive side of things, sticking with the injuries. Chance Tucker is the only defensive guy that continues to work out in the pit. And not sure what his injury is either. We do speak to Marcus Freeman after Tuesday's practice. Going to be a late practice. I think they go from 7 to 9. We'll talk to Freeman afterwards. Video will either go up late Tuesday night or early Wednesday, but definitely go to blueandgold.com to check in on all these injuries. Another offensive guy in the pit, Chase Ketterer, I believe it was, running back. He looked like he was fine going through some upper body work in the pit. Not sure what his injury is, but he's of note because the last couple of seasons he has been the guy to run the scout team for Navy when Notre Dame plays Navy as the quarterback in high school. I think it was New Prairie High School right down the road here from South Bend. They ran the triple option offense, so nobody better to run the Notre Dame scout team offense when Notre Dame is playing Navy than him. So we'll see where he's at kind of leading up to that Navy game because we're only 19 days away as we stand here. And then we talked to the safeties after practice because I don't think there was a whole lot to glean from the practice itself. A lot of takeaways from talking to Chris O'Leary, Notre Dame safeties coach, and 4 or 5 safeties that we had up there. I spent most of my time talking to Antonio Carter and DJ Brown, who are playing a similar position, the same position. It's a unique position, one that you're not going to see a whole lot from Notre Dame. But talking to Antonio Carter, he mentioned the Aztec position, and I had to say, now what is that? Is that something that you had at Rhode Island? Remember, he played 4 seasons at Rhode Island in the FCS ranks, and he said, no, that's something that we're doing here, and I just gave him the floor. I said, explain, what is that? Basically, it's a third down package where Notre Dame is going to put 3 safeties on the field, Carter being one of those, Brown being the other, whoever it is playing the Aztec position at that time. It's kind of like a rover for safeties is the way that they described it to me. I asked each of them, a guy that is physical enough to rush up, make tackles at the line of scrimmage, maybe go get the quarterback behind the line of scrimmage on blitzes. DJ Brown specifically said, it's a blitzing position, but it's also someone who can disguise as a blitzer, drop back and cover if necessary as well. So it's a hybrid role is the way they described it to me. Really interesting. I think it's the right 2 guys playing that because, again, probably a couple, especially Carter. He's a big-looking dude. I know he's a little shorter, but he's thick. He's filled out. He can make tackles. So that's the kind of guy you want playing that position. I thought that was interesting. What did you think was most interesting talking to Chris O'Leary and anybody else you spoke to today?
Yeah, just really quickly about the Aztec position. A game I would like to see that used a lot. I know this is looking really far ahead at this point. That Clemson game, you got Cade Klubnik and Will Shipley in that backfield. Mm-hmm. They'll run a very multifaceted run game with those 2 guys. Klubnik can run, Shipley, I think borderline All-American by this point. I like that Aztec position, the big nickel 3 safety package on third down to try and defend that. We'll obviously check back in once that game comes around. Other than that, from the press conference, I talked to Xavier Watts for a while. He's feeling really good in his fall camp. In this fall camp last year, he was working at that receiver position a little bit. This year, he is all safety. He's feeling really good, ready to build on a strong finish to last year. Chris O'Leary straight up said he's ready to break out the safeties coach for Notre Dame. The last thing from the press conference, O'Leary was asked about Luke Talich, the walk-on who we believe is probably not going to be a walk-on for very long.
Yeah, he's got a scholarship coming.
O'Leary said he can probably contribute next year for Notre Dame. All he's got to do, he's 6'4". O'Leary said he's very fast. He's just got to fill out a little bit. He's at about 200. O'Leary said they want him at about 210. Until then, he could contribute a little bit on special teams with the size and speed this year.
Yeah, and then again, I just talked to Antonio Carter and DJ Brown. I just love Antonio Carter's a guy that says he kind of feels like a freshman because this is his first year here. But like I said, he's played 4 years of college football, albeit at Rhode Island, but great statistics there. Played corner, played safety, really versatile player. You mentioned Xavier Watts working at wide receiver at this time last year, so obviously his versatility is there. And then add on to that, you have a guy in DJ Brown who's playing his 6th year of college football, and Chris O'Leary kind of laughed about that, and he's like, yeah, he doesn't know what he's doing out there, which is total sarcasm, obviously, because he knows exactly what he's doing out there, and you love to have guys like that on your football team. So, again, not much to take away from practice today, plenty to take away from the safeties. We'll have all of that covered at blueandgold.com. Tomorrow is a full practice that we will be viewing of Notre Dame, again, tomorrow night from 7 to 9. So either come back here, I don't know if Mike Singer is working overtime, he'll edit this thing for us and get some highlights out there and put it out Tuesday night. If not, definitely on Wednesday morning, we will have a recap of Notre Dame's full practice on Tuesday. Until then, I'm Tyler Horka, that's Jack Sobel, and we'll catch you next time right here at Blue and Gold Illustrated.